This is Andy Parole for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. I'm delighted to be joined by Alex Ariza here at the announcement press conference for Amir Khan's bout with Niraj Goyat. Alex, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Obviously, it's great to hear. We'll get straight into it. Well, I was going to go straight into it, Niraj Goyat, but firstly, we'll start off with a link-up between yourself and Amir Khan. How did the opportunity to work with each other once again come about?
I got a call about a month ago. Asif, Amir's manager, had called me up, and they were putting together a new team, for Amir. And so we started talking, shortly, day after day. And, once, we had a commitment between each other. They started looking for the trainer, and it was a tremendous list of names on it. Freddie Roach was still on there, and Robert Garcia, Joel Diaz, Bones Adams, Virgil Hill is Hunter. I'm sorry. Bones is he's a two-time world champion and kind of known in the circle for being a good technical fighter, getting fighters to kind of get back to focusing on the technical part of the game, and coming up to be a good teacher. And I think they made a good choice.
How much of a surprise was it when you received a phone call yourself and you was asked to be a part of Amir's team?
Well, I want to say I was real surprised, but Amir and I have been speaking over the last few years, like I've said, and we've talked about linking up, but sometimes it's hard. He's on one side of the area, and I was on the other. I had different fighters, and trainers have different teams, and it's not as easy as that sometimes. But I always had the hope that Amir and I would. So we had so many great fights together, so many great camps together, and we know each other so well. Myself and Terry, we started with him, so it was good. It didn't take much convincing for me to want to be part of this comeback.
Was you surprised at all when it was announced that Amir wasn't going to work with Virgil Hunter?
I wasn't really. I didn't know I knew they were reaching out and they were doing tryouts and calling different people. No, to be honest, I didn't really think too much. I was more worried about talking to Terry and digging up Amir's old paperwork, and let's see what we can do let's see what we can do to make another run at this again. It's a great, tremendous. It's an incredible challenge for us.
Let's go on to that challenge. What have you seen initially in these early stages that make you think Amir can once again fight for a world title or reach world level?
Never been one to plan like that. I know now what Terry and I have planned for this camp. It's not a very long camp, but we're going to get back to as far as some of the basics that we used to do. But Terry and I we've evolved, and we're innovative, and we've progressed, and the science of exercise and nutrition is like compute. It changes. And thankfully I've still been in the sport despite having to go through different camps and starting to apply these new techniques and things like that. So we had a lot of promise and confidence to do this again with Amir. And like I said, he's 32 years old. He's young. We get some testing done and find out where he is physically. And once we get that nailed down, man, we'll hit the road running again.
That's something I wanted to ask you about. In terms of physically, what do you see in Amir, the biggest differences at this early stage with regards to when you worked with him previously and what you've seen with him now?
Anyway, everybody's a critic. He just didn't look like the same Amir that I used to have. The balance, the legs, the stability. And it could just be, I just think that we were very fortunate when we first got Amir after the Prescott fight. We had an idea, we had an approach, and we stuck to it. And what we felt was going to be the bedrock foundation of what Amir, and then build off of that. So that's where I want to go. I want to get back to. I want to get back to a way that, where he was very stable and stern and very durable.
Obviously, last time out, he was defeated by Terence Crawford. What have you guys learned about Amir with regards to his preparations for that camp?
What have I learned? What have we learned? Not to do it that way. No, I don't. They have their system. We have our. it's that simple. It's like any, like a football team or they have their ways of preparing their athletes, and we have our ways of preparing ours. We're more scientifically and comprehensively approached, and we have a great history. We're 95% of the time, if you train with us, you're going to win. So Terry's is an exceptional dietitian, and probably one of the best, if not the best. And so, if we stick to the numbers, we do things. Like I said, we have a blueprint of Amir of what we used to do. He's just a little bit older, so make some adjustments and go forward.
She talks about the decision to face Neeraj Goya in your first bouts working together. What are you anticipating Neeraj to bring to the fight?
Nothing to lose. He's dangerous. A guy like that is always dangerous. Got nothing to lose. Everything to gain. So for me, this, like I said, I keep saying, this isn't an exhibition for me. I got to get my guy ready to hurt the other guy. This is the hurt business. So Amir's always been a tremendous athlete. I just got to get back to the mental thing. I got to break him and get him mean again and get him back to how he used to be.
What's the ambition for Amir on the back of a Crawford defeat and then going in with Neeraj? Is he just looking for maybe a couple more fights in terms of a payout, or has he still got that ambition to want to get back onto the world scene?
I won't know that until I get him out on the track and on the team. But he's always been one of my favorites, along with him, Mikey Garcia, even like Maidana's. Those guys have always been tremendous tremendous students to work for. They work every day. They have no problems getting up. They have no problems eating the food. They have no problems doing the workouts. So I don't expect that. I don't expect that. I'm not going to psychologically try to break this down and this guy's a fighter, and I just got to I got to get him back to that.
Now, obviously, it would be a huge shock if Neeraj was to defeat Amir, because Amir is the overwhelming favourite for their fight. A big shock which happened on the weekend. Andy Ruiz Jr. defeated Anthony Joshua. What was your thoughts on that fight?
Sad to say, I didn't watch that fight. I didn't. I saw it and I heard about it. I don't know if he was in shape, if he wasn't in shape. I'm not privy to those kind of things, what happened in camp. Only Anthony Joshua knows that. It's boxing. Everybody has an off night. It happens. My job is to make sure that we don't have that off night, to make sure that nothing does go wrong. So, like I said, Terry and I have been doing this a long time. Our fighters always come in tip-top. We always make weight. We always come in strong, and we always put in great performances. And if we get beat, it's going to be because the other guy was a better fighter. But we're not going to get beat because we were tired or we weren't prepared, or I never underestimate anybody.
Just on AJ, a couple of things came out after that fight. One was he was knocked out in sparring a week before the fight. Another one was he was having a panic attack in the dressing room just before he went on his ring walk. What are your thoughts with regards to if any of those rumours were to be true, and what should have happened if they were?
I'm not going to comment on what ifs on that kind of stuff. If he was concussed, then yeah, clearly that would cause a big problem. Concussion. Or sometimes the lingering effects of that can be long-term. And maybe the panic attack came from him not feeling well, Again, I don't know. It's hard.
If, say, there was a situation, though, how long would you say the layoff should be for somebody who was suffering from a concussion before getting back into the ring?
90 days.
And I just want to touch on a couple of guys that you mentioned there. Mikey Garcia, to begin with, he's looking to make his comeback now. What were your thoughts on his bout with Errol Spence?
Tough fight. Unfortunately, like they said, they underestimated, Earl, and you can't. Not at this level. These guys are all good, and it's like Mikey said. Mikey's a well-rounded fighter. Earl's a well-rounded fighter. It just wasn't Mikey's night. Didn't look like the same Mikey Garcia I've seen in the past. So there could have been some problems there. Who knows? But I expected more. I think everybody expected more. But maybe maybe it looks like caught him off guard, or who knows? I don't know. He just physically he didn't look right to me.
Do you think the size difference was just too much for him on the night?
I don't think it was too much for him. I just think something wasn't clicking that night. That didn't look like the normal Mikey, the calculating, the methodical, the technician that he normally is. So could be anything. You know, again, when you're not privy to know what happens behind closed doors, it's all guess.
How big a fight between him and Vasyl Lomachenko would it be?
Mikey and Lomachenko.
Lomachenko.
I think I have to go with Mikey for sure.
Well, Alex, I appreciate your time. I know you've got other people wanting to speak to you, so thanks for speaking to Boxing Social.
Anytime, buddy. I appreciate it.